Hey guys, welcome to the stream. I'm Italian Trevere. This is Murders on the Yangtze River. So last time we finished... Hang on. I was gonna say last time we finished chapter 2, but is the stream okay? I think I'm having network issues. How's the stream going? Can you guys like hear me and stuff?
Yeah, I know you're coming in choppy on my end. But that could just be how I'm connecting. I've got Discord happening in sort of two different...
OBS disconnected. OBS reconnected, okay. Are we good? Now it's back. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I think it's just Wi-Fi problems on my end. Maybe I should, at some point, just switch to Ethernet. Do I even have that ability? I think so. Yeah, I've been considering doing that. I haven't really bothered for the most part, because I don't usually have internet problems, but yeah, it's being weird today. It seems to be okay now, so hopefully it was just a quick blip, and everything will be good. Yeah, so I guess let's go right into the game. What was our last save? I guess this one? So yeah, we finished case 2. Wait, Luke, are you here? 'Cause I'm not hearing you.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I had to hop off and on again.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Yeah, so we've got a boat guy here for us. Oh, this was the boat that we had to repair, right? So.
Yeah, the boat that got messed up.
Yeah. Actually, did they say why the boat was messed up? Was there like some kind of storm or something?
I think it was an engine thing, which was why Afu went to the blacksmith.
Yeah. Make a great detective story, Write it down, you could be the next Master Lowe. I'm not sure which way the boat is. I want to go the opposite direction first, obviously.
Yeah,
oh, the boat would be presumably at the river.
Yeah, I think it was nearest to the creek because we went left to get to murder scene number 1.
The two detectives also enjoy rice cake. We're setting some trends, huh?
Yeah. It's just like a game of Pokemon. We invent the trends.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's the stall in the bottom left there, but it's like closed. Oh.
I suppose it's closed forever now. He only made 1 batch of buns.
We can go this way? Yeah, I'm nervous. Should I go this way?
We don't want to trigger plot by accident.
I know.
I will say that the piles of fish do kind of look like we're nearing a river.
Yeah. Alright, well, let's go make sure we talk to people first.
Yeah, she was crying by a creek, so that's the...
Yeah, I guess maybe it's just...
Could that smoker really have that ability?
Wow.
He's the loserest elite scholar in the world.
Even this like random dialogue is voiced now. That's interesting.
Yeah.
By the way, welcome, Cece. Sorry I didn't greet you before. I was going to, but then I got interrupted by network issues. But yeah, glad you're here. Oh, by the way, one random thing that I don't think was ever actually addressed was how did he lock the wardrobe? Like, I think there's the kind of lock that needs a key.
Yeah, it maybe just wasn't, the wardrobe wasn't locked to begin with.
I mean, we had to unlock it. Maybe we just assumed it was locked and then...
But it's not like the lock is built into the wardrobe. It's like a padlock. So if it was
yeah,
just
he could have
lying
just
on the
like brought
table-
his own lock or something.
That's true. He could have done that too. They did emphasize that it was a similar kind of lock that Lope had, but Officer Ma is a fanboy. He might have just bought all the same things that Lope had, just because it's got to be the best lock if Lope is using it. My guess, question mark, if we really are leaving this area, is that it wasn't super important. But who knows? We also thought about...
Yeah. I think if it wasn't brought up in this case, it's probably not important. Like, the last two cases were... Yeah, we're very closely linked, and a lot of stuff kind of carried over. I would imagine... Sorry, what were you saying?
I was gonna say we thought that about Officer Ma swinging his sword at the sky.
Yeah, that's also very true.
And that turned out to be vital.
Yep. But yeah, I would imagine this case is not as related to the other two, because I think we wrapped things up more or less.
Yeah, if we're leaving. Maybe we'll just keep taking a boat back and forth between crime scenes. They'll just be like, you need to solve this immediately, and then let us sail like 7 hours. Maybe that's why it's called Murder on the Yangtze River.
Yeah.
You know? Because we're going to spend so much time backtracking. That's it. A fu will become a braggadocio.
保准你读完打通膈至筋脉。新石头记还跟膈至学有关？小兄弟有所不知，这可是他讲的是贾宝玉在辛丑年复活后乘潜水艇环游地球的故事。我要读。
It's based off of the only 2 works of sci-fi that exist at the time. Probably not true. I mean, it definitely isn't. I'm just trying to remember.
Yeah.
I took a class.
It's hard to define sci-fi at that point.
Yeah. Like, one of these fun facts, I think, brought up the tale of, like, the person from the moon
going to the moon, yeah.
And that's the thing that gets generally credited as, like, earliest sci-fi because it sort of blends mythological with this idea of the moon is an actual place that somebody could theoretically go to, so it's within the realm of science.
I mean, obviously there's, like, various myths about people on the moon, but I think what makes it science fiction is, like, going there by the power of, like, human technology, right?
Yeah, I think some of the earliest ones are like, no, they've got their own stuff to come to Earth, so it's more like an alien.
Yeah, but it's still like
encounter.
Like technology rather than
yeah, it's like
supernatural
the line is
stuff. Yeah, of course.
The line is wibbly always.
Yep.
But yes, I'm like Frankenstein definitely gets credited a lot as one of the most earliest things that are recognizably sci-fi.
Yeah.
And similarly, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's like, yeah, a submarine stuff. That makes sense.
He's the only one that cared.
Only one that cared.
Maybe he was the only one that tasked. Wait, really? That's a plot twist.
You just tell us this now. We've been debating on how much of a loser Xuen is. And only now do we get answers.
Well, we heard about it being abolished before, and we were actually questioning why that was still, like, a thing.
We were confused.
Is it just this one, like, senile old man who keeps coming back to check the exam scores?
They just keep posting it to get his hopes up.
That's so weird.
It's arguably crueler than just telling him.
Wow. That's really sad.
科举没了，接受不了。
Okay, so scholars are all losers. That's what we found out.
Yep.
啊，年年来贴一张，也不费事儿。
先生，科举废除，老爷爷读了一辈子的书，是不是全都白费了？
Yeah, like what do they do with themselves now? They are just
They
jobless losers
build
now.
their doorways. They build doorways that are 3 inches higher than other people's doorways.
不是说，
Because that's a privilege that no one can ever take away from you.
I don't know, maybe it was taken away when the system was abolished.
Maybe it was. You can't have anything anymore.
Yep.
但是老爷爷都这个年纪了，罗佩还有罗世文，他们会去写小说，难道也是这个原因？
Lopei is a scholar too.
而人如微尘。
Clearly less of a losery scholar.
Yeah, because, well, after the system was abolished, he went on and did something else with his life.
He did something else with his life. He stole other people's work.
Yeah. Clearly a very noble cause.
那
Noble
为什么
cause.
还要废除科举啊？
科举虽废除，但眼下新学已在推行，
Okay.
总归是在朝着
We literally just have to close school to rebuild it. There's definitely a lot of like philosophical musings, and obviously this arc about the students ties into the question of, does being passionate about something make you a murderer? And the answer, as we know, is yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Oh boy. Oh. Maximum limit of 100 canings and a 3,000-mile exile. Wow.
Oh, you get sent into exile, and you still have to pay the toll.
Yeah.
That is incredible. So, hang on, what was the thing with the second and third offenses? Can you scroll up for a sec?
Yeah. This thing, like, scrolls very far when I move it. Okay, hang on. Also punished with second-degree offense. That's a lot.
I don't know what the distinction is between whether you get a second-degree offense or a third-degree offense, but
I think it's like what the punishment for the crime they're accusing of is.
yeah, I guess so. The 8-legged essay.
Spider essay? Nope, not that. Do the other thing. Ah, no! Bring it back. Yeah, here we go. Okay, what was that? Oh, yeah.
We're learning so much about murder today.
Yeah. What an educational video game.
Yes.
A red herring bamboo. Doggo!
狗狗乖。
It still hates me.
The dog does not like Shen.
How sad.
他怎么就不喜欢先生呢？
Why
Does
indeed?
Shen smell like a cat or something?
This This wasn't there before. Oh! Hello.
Hello, small child.
点点，你怎么躲在这里呀？
刚才点点在偷听大家讲话，然后就睡着了。
As you
那你听
do.
到什么了？
有人说罗老爷是大骗子，大家都唉声叹气，回各自屋子里难过了。点点早就说过罗老爷是坏人了。
Truly, this child is the
下次我要把
wisest.
这个消息告诉吕姐姐。
Oh no! That's upsetting.
看来点点还不知道吕先生的事。他知道后，肯定要伤心一阵子了。
Who's like, that's not our problem, though.
Alright,
So
to
I
the river.
will say, I'm glad to have a definitive answer on what exactly was stolen from Shiwen. Because definitely I think that if this had been a literally Shiwen wrote the entire thing and Lope just slapped his name on it, I would have been like, you know what, it's really hard to blame him for that murder thing.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, yeah, I get it. I think that the amount of theft that happened is like, okay, murder was maybe a bit extreme, but then the motive was also that he felt he was obsolete now that Lope could steal from other people.
Yeah, that was something.
That was a thing. So I guess it's hard to say like, oh, I think he was justified in that, because it's like, no, you had a severe mental break. That's what happened. There wasn't really not so much a justification as it was more an event that happened.
你们可算来了。
But I do think it's interesting that it's like, okay, yes, Lope was actually doing the conversion into writing. And even, now arguably, the book that he wrote on his own, using the details of our brother's murder, I assume. It's like, okay, that's closer to just like Law and Order CSI ripped from the headlines kind of thing. I'm not sure yet if he is taking work that somebody else did based on those events and converting it into a detective novel, It might just be that he was reading a newspaper.
Yeah, it sounds more like it's just based on real events.
Yeah, so like, unless there was an intermediary, I'm not sure I would call that plagiarism, just kind of tacky. But, what's the phrase? I do think that it was clearly established last time that it's like, okay, yes, Shiwen was the ideas guy, and he couldn't really turn it into a story. And that is an undervalued piece. Like, I think a lot of people do kind of assume that, oh, if I just give you the idea, you can just turn it into a story and that's like easy. It's like, no, that's actually a very long and complicated process.
Yeah.
It is work. But it seems pretty clear that he wasn't just like, oh, you should do a story like this in one sentence, and then Lope writes a book, and then Shiwen's like, you stole this from me. It seems pretty clear that, okay, he was doing a lot of actual, like, work to develop the plot. Like, it seems like he was actually building the structural elements of the case, which, is something that I think would deserve co-author credit. It's like, that is actually also an important part of the creative process there. It's not like he just came in with a one-sentence idea and was like, I deserve equal credit for that.
Yeah.
So
how's the stream, by the way? Are we having internet issues again? Like, I can still hear you just fine, but
I can hear you just fine. Also, hang on. Let me
sad.
Plug the stream into headphones.
Oh, okay. We're back on excellent connection. All right. Well, I guess let's try to go on and Hope that this doesn't keep
Here,
happening.
Just say something.
Hello, hello. Can you hear / see things on the stream?
Okay, it's a little behind live, but not in a... You know, it's behind the live thing, but the audio and video are coming in clearly.
Okay, that's good.
So.
对不起啊，王叔，我们遇上案子耽搁了。
我猜到会是这样，先快上船吧。
I figured you would run into 2 murders back to back and therefore be delayed by the time you got back here.
站稳喽！
I like the sprites just kind of standing perfectly still. Okay, there we go.
Is he waving at the fish? What was he waving at?
I think he was scratching his head.
I see, maybe. Ooh.
It's a little late now for a title screen game.
Oh, also, I looked back at the one thing where there was the impressions on the paper, and you really cannot see it on the stream. I tried to take a screenshot of it to post, but like even in the screenshot, it's pretty hard to see.
I was just sort of staring. Okay,
Yeah.
this is the title screen.
I do not know what that says. Are we gonna get a translation? It's very pretty though, I love this art. Oh, Kitty is approaching? What are you doing? Ooh, who's this guy?
船长，装上这个飞轮，船就能继续行驶啦。
你呀，和你父亲真是一个性子，做起实验
Whoa,
来
a
什么
Fu
都
has a father?
Fu lore.
Fu lore.
那他也烧过发电机吗？
Ah, that's what happened. I have a fluffy armrest that is licking me. Hello.
他烧
Oh
的
no.
东西可比发电机大多
Well,
了。
that seems concerning.
回头有时间我再跟你细讲。眼下先把这飞轮给换上。
好。
Now, I assume that it's just, like, well, I assume question mark that it is just a common name, but it is very funny that after 2 cases back to back involving the Lowe family, we come on the ship and immediately meet Shipmaster Lowe. Probably unrelated, literally.
接连发生了2起命案。
Although, in a detective game, are there really coincidences?
I mean, we'll keep it in mind. We'll just kind of like give Shipmaster Lowe a careful suspicion moving forward. I like how they have room on the ship for their conspiracy board.
Yep, that's pretty great. The fluffy armrest
We
is still
pay
licking me.
extra for the conspiracy board.
Yep. Well, it's probably just theirs. They brought it with them.
Yeah, but I mean,
Just
like,
take it on
space
the
is at
boat.
a premium on ships.
Yep.
Look at this huge room.
不急，我需要做一下案件记录。你也一宿没睡，不去休息一下吗？
他大哥帮我做了一个发条，我要装进我的发明里。
又有什么新发明？
Are we gonna be able to use his inventions in
It's
the
a science invention.
next cases?
Yeah, he's the Emma Sky.
Yep.
等我
He
做出来，
uses
现在就
science
知道
to
了。
solve.
可别再把发电机弄坏了。
放心，这次我会注意电压的。
This time I'll use lab safety, but only this one.
船长已经调转船头，往扬州方向去了。
Can you imagine what it'll be like if we have to, you know, remember how last case we were like spending half an hour sorting through those papers?
Right.
And it was like, it should not have taken that long. Can you imagine if we do have to go back and forth between 2 locations on this boat, considering that we have just established it takes 2 days to sail?
Yeah. Yep, pretty far.
先生，要不你再给我讲讲？
Yes, tell us
Would you
more about
mind,
that case.
like, yeah, would you mind, like, filling me in about literally anything?
我帮你一起想。
好，正好我打算把案件从头梳理一遍。
You couldn't have done that in those 2 days that we were sailing.
No.
Hey, Radio
It was
Iskandar,
important
welcome
for
to
the
the stream. This is Murders on the Yangtze River, which is like, you know, an Ace Attorney style kind of detective game. Well, we're about to learn things. So this is actually case 3. I guess the first 2 cases were kind of introductory. And so throughout there's been kind of a background element of this case that our protagonist is currently chasing. So I guess he's about to give us some more details on that. But what we know so far is that apparently his brother was killed in London. Speaking of which, this is like 1900s China. But now we're back in China investigating that. We went to see a guy who had like written a book that was suspiciously similar to that case. So we went to like question him about how he knew things and what he knew, but he got murdered. So, yeah. Stuff happened. We're about to get more background. Yeah. We're on our way to our 3rd case. Alright. Actually, I wonder if this 3rd case is going to be a flashback case.
Well, if it's a flashback to the murder of his
Yeah,
brother,
he's not going to be
only
solving it,
assume he has
obviously,
not
but he
solved
could be,
Yeah.
事情要从
3
3年前
years
说起。
ago.
3 years ago.
I think this is, well, this is going to be a flashback. I don't know if the whole case
A
will be.
flashback, yeah.
我在波士顿学习法律，
He's into Boston,
Like, he
too.
could solve a different crime in
Yeah.
Boston, I guess.
He's really
then his
traveled
brother
around the
gets-
world.
Traveled around the world.
同年8月，我收到哥哥的好友约瑟发来的消息，哥哥在伦敦的公寓中离奇死亡。 我决定前往伦敦。
It was a true
查明真相。
confined room mystery.
Oh, look at that blonde people.
And now we've hopped from Ace Attorney to Professor Layton. I look forward to every single character having a puzzle for us to solve. Oh my god. Classic London outfit.
Yeah, it's a good look. I do wonder about the hair. Like, does he still have the long braid, or did he grow that out in just 3 years?
It's like he might. It could be like tucked in or something. I think it's... So he was studying in Boston.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that it was just like... In order to...
He's probably like cut his hair while he was, you know, living
to fit
in America, yeah.
Yeah, so I could see that.
For sure. My brother's apartment is not in this
My
direction.
brother's apartment is not in this carriage.
Alright, let's go. This is the place.
We're assassins cleaning
Hello.
this. We
May I
can't
ask if this
diverge
is
from the
Officer
timeline.
English voice acting! What?
English voice acting.
That's so cool!
Ye are?
Ye are! Wow.
The perfect
I
English
am John Shannon,
dialect.
brother of Brian Shannon.
Huh. That's so fun.
My close friend Brian Shen's younger brother, John Shen, is about to arrive in London. Please guide him to inspect Brian's death scene and facilitate his access to the case files.
Sincerely, just a guy.
Yeah, who is this guy, Joseph?
Who's Joseph? What pull does he have?
Joseph Iscariot Bell.
I don't love that middle name.
Yeah. Slightly concerning.
I don't love that
I'm
middle
sure
name.
it's fine.
I'm gonna
Since
I'm
it's
gonna
Joseph's
tentatively
request,
say
I'll
that Joseph
surely
did it just
cooperate.
based on the middle name alone.
I'm Cody Jones.
This is all a
investigating your
cunning ploy.
brother's case. Just call me Jones.
Thank you for your help.
Speaking of which, your brother's suicide scene looks
Suicide.
rather eerie.
Well, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
confined room mystery.
Of course. But it's just, it wasn't in the text. I do wonder if
yeah.
even the Chinese version of the game has the English voice acting.
kinda
That would
sounds
make a lot of
like it.
sense.
Yeah,
Ring a
because
bell.
like we've been hearing Chinese dialogue
Yeah.
in the Chinese portion of the
Yeah,
game.
so I think just in
I
old
think it may
versions, it's
genuinely-
just what language they're
The
speaking.
point is
which
to-
I don't know if I really... I mean, obviously you see that sometimes when, like, characters actually speak different languages, but, like...
Yeah.
Especially in, like,
No,
a
it's
really
cool
small
touch.
game, it's very unusual.
It's a
Young
cool
one.
touch.
Sure you want to step in?
I'm sure.
All right, after checking the scene, come away to the office. We'll sort out some paperwork. Say, we can wrap up the case then.
Wrap it up? Yeah, you know, it's clear suicide in and out.
How many times you come without invite? Is police station too free? Or whole London only has case in my place?
This lady's gonna be fun.
Mrs. Cheng, sorry for me giving you a heads up today.
Rather important person, huh? Move aside.
Are we gonna speak Chinese with her?
Yeah, maybe.
两兄弟长得真像。
Yeah, there she
Yeah,
goes.
there you go. That's cool.
He's like, what are you guys talking about now?
弟弟比哥哥还要俊俏些。
Oh god, don't do that.
A little tactless, ma'am.
郑阿姨，哥哥之前寄给我的书信中，经常提起您对他的照顾。
你哥是个好男儿，志向远大，才华横溢。没想到发生了这样的事。
The creature is back.
Mrs. Cheng, can we first?
Take off shoes first. Don't dirty my carpet. Keep windows shut. Bad energy if open. Every time you come, my house a mess. My medicine on stove. Knock it over. See what happens.
Nay, bother. Dinna fash yourself. We didn't mean
No,
to
I
intrude
don't
over
think
much.
She did
Yeah,
it, but I am gonna
that should
note
be,
we've got medicines lying all over the house,
Hmm.
and the brother was probably poisoned.
Yeah.
Less trip? That's not what the signs say. You foreigners, you will have more visits. All right. Stick close to your esteemed guest.
Esteemed guest?
Without him, you break my vase today. Compensate me. It's cloisonné. Expensive.
Vase?
The one behind you, probably. Oh.
See, I told you.
这屋是他的工作室，命案就发生在这里。他经常把自己锁在屋里面搞研究，我也不懂他在研究些什么。
A real Minecraft
Hello,
home is that one.
小伙子，你慢慢看啊。
I think it's so funny how much nicer she is to me than to the officer guy.
Yeah. We have manners.
Yeah.
You walk careful. Don't break my things again.
And he keeps breaking things.
Aye, I really hope this is the last time I'm stepping in here.
Officer Jones, could you please tell me about the situation at the time?
Of course. That afternoon at 2:05, we got a telegraph saying there's been a murder in this room. We went upstairs to check, found the door locked from the inside. Had to break the lock open.
Rookie mistake. Clearly,
What's
somebody
inside?
broke the lock
I saw the
beforehand
victim
and
lying in a
pantomimed
rather
opening it.
eerie pose on the chair.
And it is pretty
Dagger
eerie. And then also
plunged
there's a
into
knife.
his chest.
Yeah.
His expression was awfully strange. A lot of pain. But half his face seems to be smiling.
Well,
That's creepy.
I am concerned.
What kind of dagger is it? Is there anything special about it?
Nothing remarkable in appearance. Light in weight, but razor sharp.
What is the current direction of the police investigation? Have you identified any suspects yet?
I thought Joseph had already filled you in on this. Well, Mr. Shen, based on the evidence gathered so far, the police have come to the conclusion your brother took his own life.
Suicide? Impossible. My brother would never kill himself.
The room was sealed off at the time of the incident. All door and windows were locked from inside. The only key was in your brother's own hand. Not just that, but the weapon only had his own fingerprints on it as well. Again, it's hard to accept. My condolences.
Okay.
So let's see about this.
Oh, we should probably actually read these.
Yeah, are we voicing these now?
Yeah, I guess since they're not voiced. Who should be the officer? I guess.
Well, you've been voicing Shen
Yeah,
for
I guess
most of the game. So
we're not gonna have Afu here, so I guess you should
it's
probably take
like
the officer.
Officer Jones, and maybe we'll talk to Mrs. Cheng again.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to be Officer Jones?
All right, go for it.
All right. Can I actually do a Scottish accent?
You don't have to if you don't want to, but up to you.
When we got here, the doorknob was locked from the inside, so we had to force the door open. Definitely not exactly Scottish, but probably kind of close.
It's fine.
Okay.
Just we can do whatever. Okay. Let's see.
It's like we could give him the gumshoe voice now that Officer Ma has betrayed us.
Her old gumshoe is dead. Well, maybe not dead,
Long live
but
the
in prison.
gumshoe.
You want to choose games with amazing music? Yeah, this game's had pretty good music so far. Officer Jones, can I ask you a few questions?
So should I just go in on the gumshoe voice?
Go for it. I mean, he definitely has the bumbling down.
Swiftly, pal.
Officer Jones, you mentioned earlier that someone filed a report. May I ask who the reporter is?
Came in as an anonymous telegram. Had only one sentence. A homicide occurred at 79 Prilly Street.
But this message specifically says that it's a homicide.
A homicide, yeah.
It does sound somewhat illogical. Since this room is locked and it's a suicide, how could anyone know a homicide occurred here? Yeah, they wouldn't have, like, seen the scene in the room unless they saw it through a window or something.
Allegedly. I mean, there is a window that's incredibly wide open,
yeah,
so you could just, like, binoculars that.
What is that on the ground on the right there?
Yes, there is something on the ground there.
Alright.
Must admit, you've got a sharp mind, but... See? The curtains of this window were not closed at the time.
But it also looks pretty high up. Like, who would have been looking in... Maybe in that house across? They could have, like, looked through the window? Yeah.
I'm a peeping Tom. I just happened to witness a murder.
Yep.
It's likely that someone from the opposite building saw the body through the window. Okay, I'm also noticing that there is a hole in the ceiling, or a window in the ceiling that is shining directly down, like right above the body.
Yeah, there's some kind of light. I did see a prompt to examine a skylight at some point, so that's probably what it is, yeah.
And I'm also gonna note, skylight, dagger was plunged in, only his own fingerprints were on it, but
yeah, someone could have dropped it
from
up there.
Yeah, somebody lined up a perfect shot and just released.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Have the police questioned the residents of the building opposite?
Aye, anything you can think of we already considered. Anything. I mean it, none of this Phoenix Wright bullshit. Just going to that building to look for eyewitnesses took up my entire week. Aye, it's hard to identify potential witnesses with a busy restaurant on the 3rd floor. That completely irrelevant, busy restaurant on the 3rd floor.
Well, I think maybe that's, like, what would be lined up with this floor. That's where you would have to be looking through. So you don't know who could have been in the restaurant at the time.
He's saying that as if it's like, oh, you know, this is a tangential detail, even though you play a video game.
Well, no, it could be that he's just saying it's hard to
eyes.
identify witnesses, since the witnesses would have been in this busy restaurant, and we can't track everyone who went in or out of there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know what he's saying. I'm just saying it's like, this is an important clue, remember it for later.
Yeah. Officer Jones, you and Joseph were both at the Kensington Division, right?
Aye, Joseph was my superior just half a month ago. However, 2 weeks ago he got a transfer order and was sent to be moved to Shanghai.
Interesting. I wonder if we're gonna run into him in China. Was Joseph in charge of my brother's case before?
Aye, that's correct. But no, the case is in the hands of the new detective sergeant.
Oh, who is that?
The new sergeant is not an easy person to deal with. When we go into the police station later, you'll witness it yourself. I feel like I'm fusing the Brooklyn and...
Officer Jones, may I ask if the police have identified any suspects yet?
Mr. Shen, as I mentioned before, your brother's death was a suicide. There are no suspects.
Even if it is determined to be a suicide, don't we need to rule out the possibility of homicide?
Of course, but we looked into all the suspicious individuals. Mrs. Chang, the only person there in the flat that day. Stone Wu, your brother's classmate, had a good relationship with him, but had a big row before. Toby Cheng, your brother's classmate, had a competitive relationship with him. And there's also the sender of the telegram, Mr. Bell, your brother's research project sponsor. Really, his name's Joseph Iscariot, and he sent the telegram. What a non-suspicious man.
Very suspicious.
I mean, just look at that face. We've interrogated all these individuals. All have alibis for the time of the incident.
Do we know what the time was, though?
Yeah, what was the time of the incident? I completely understand your desire to uncover the truth. But the truth is, your brother committed suicide.
Okay.
Actually, no more questions.
Officer Jones, was my brother sitting in this chair at the time of death?
Strictly speaking, he was not sitting in the chair, but leaning on it in a very peculiar posture. His head and lower limbs were bent downward while his body arches upward like a bow. You know, you can see because, like, exactly the skylight light is, like, framing his face.
How could this be?
We've looked into all sorts, but there's no definitive answer. Not ruling out that he got a massive fright or pain reaction at the very moment of his passing.
Ooh. Ooh, the twitching. Right.
Yeah, so the thing, Miss Chung said that we look very much like our brother, so it's like Shadow Self Shen. Is he Shadow Self Shen, or is he potentially older, better detective brother?
Yeah, maybe.
Brian, quote unquote.
We don't know.
You look as if you've just come back from the depths of hell. I wonder why. He's only looking at the place his brother died.
Yeah. Now I take a closer look around here.
Please, go ahead.
Oh. Alright. Ah, so I see a drawing of the key.
I like that they I like that they took the time to specify the key is right here.
The heck is that? What the heck is this?
It's a lot of suspicious
this kind of looks
stuff.
like no, it doesn't look like broken
So a theory
glass.
is shaping up.
This is some kind of burnt paper, I think. Yeah, let's take a look at all this stuff. An asbestos mesh with burn marks on it.
Which is weird because it's asbestos.
The corner of the asbestos mesh is tied with wire, and the middle part has been replaced with wax.
Oh, that's weird, yeah.
That's some kind of setup for something.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Okay, so the thing that I maybe want to toss out, it might have been used for experiments, as asbestos mesh is a common tool in labs. Okay, thing I want to throw out before we get too far in this is, like, there's clearly some kind of contraption happening here, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is a locked room mystery by way of contraption.
Yeah.
So I think the, like, man, why was your brother in this face of pain but also kind of, like, smiling, is if our brother is the kind of personality that Shen's sinister shadow self is based off of him. If it's one of those, the dead person is possessing him kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's probably the kind of guy who would take a sick sense of humor in his own murder. You know?
Maybe. I could see that.
Like, if he's like the, oh, I'm just like so deep into this puzzle solving thing, I just want to match wits with an adversary, a Moriarty to his Holmes, so to speak. He might see getting outplayed by an opponent as like a, oh, I see what you did there, that was cool kind of thing, even as he's dying. Which could explain why he's, like, smiling through the pain, because he's like, oh, I get it, that's nice.
I could definitely see that, yeah.
And likewise, I think that the most obvious thing is we heard from Auntie Vu last case that his paralysis seemed similar to strychnine, which was not in his system, but something like strychnine could have been, maybe.
Yeah.
And if he was poisoned in such a way to time it so that his paralysis would have been like here in this spot, and then some kind of contraption dropped the knife on him, that would be a very easy way to do a locked room mystery without having to set foot in the room, really. I mean, after you set it up.
But you would have to really predict exactly how he was going to move.
Yes.
I think in that case it would maybe be more likely that they put him in that spot after he was already dead and then dropped the knife.
Part of why I think it went down this exact way is because, one, this is probably going to be, you know, the case to end all of the cases. This is going to be like the cleverest one in the game. I guess unless we solve it in this one, unless this chapter 3 is solving the brother's murder and then Shen has like no more issues the entire game. So given that, I'm like, I would expect it to be weird and complex, and I am admittedly hinging this off of the theory of Shen's brother was kind of in admiration of how he got. And if so, then it really would need to be like, this was timed down to the moment. This was an adversary.
Yeah, I think they would have had to have some way to manipulate his actions to make sure that he does things exactly the way that they need it.
Maybe if it was his research professor who knew him very well and knew exactly how he would react to everything.
Yep. Also, I just noticed there's some kind of marks on the chair. I don't know if that's just normal wear and tear or if something happened to it.
Yeah, one of them looks like a blood stain, but...
Well, no, there's the blood stain, but also there was some kind of, like, something on the leg. Mesh is charred black. Yeah. The thin iron wire tied to each corner. The central...
I mean, if it's something to do with the leg, if the contraption was tied to the chair, it could have been timed to go off when he sat in the chair.
And hello, Ree! I'm talking about this.
Okay, yeah, you want to circle it? Yeah.
Deep claw marks on the chair legs, with slight traces of blood on them.
Okay. So that seems consistent with he was in pain and agony and thrashing at the chair. But it could also have triggered a tripwire.
Yeah. So Ree, we are in a 3-year past flashback investigating our brother's murder that we still have not solved in the present. We're still looking into. So we're probably not going to solve it here unless we're changing the past. So yeah,
we're Assassin's Creeding it, but
we're in London in his apartment. It was a locked room, and the police are assuming that it was a suicide, but obviously we know better.
It wasn't a locked room; it was a confined room, a legally distinct concept.
Of course. An unburned scrap of paper. Seemingly made of oiled paper. It seems that there is some writing on it, but it is impossible to recognize it.
And I'm gonna also say some manner of contraption.
Okay. Yes. It also could have been to destroy this writing, whatever it was.
Yeah, it could have been. I'm thinking that potentially a
there's definitely something
could have been. What if some part of the contraption involved?
Yeah, there's some Rube Goldberg shit. Yeah,
there's some Rube Goldberg shit going on, but like we've got asbestos, we've got a burnt thing.
Yeah.
What if you have something that catches on fire when the sun goes through the skylight at a specific point?
Maybe.
Thereby allowing him to time things.
Time the dropping of the knife, maybe?
Yeah. Again, I am assuming this was a pinpoint precision case.
Yeah. Officer Jones, if my brother's body was contorted when he was killed, how was he leaning on the chair?
Let me draw a wee sketch for you. Yeah, there's enough Scottishisms that I'm like, I don't want to say I'm wrong, but... Here's how he and the chair were set up at that moment. My drawing skills are incredible.
Yep.
I like the little X's in the eyes, a thing which I'm not sure was actually how people drew things back in the time. I think that was a stylism that was not invented yet. The victim's body in the chair found a fine equilibrium, a delicate balance.
Yeah, that's also like... They would have had to set it up so exactly. Like, again, I would think that this was something that the murderer, like, painstakingly arranged after the fact.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe
And,
it was
that's
just
why-
set up that precisely.
That's why it's a murder worth smiling about.
Yep.
I'm not sure if that was a coincidence.
There are no coincidences.
There are no coincidences. Come on, Officer Jones, catch up.
Is this shape a key?
Aye, we took it as evidence in our investigation. This is the sole key to the room, and we discovered it gripped in Brian's left hand. There were only your brother's fingerprints on the key.
There were many scattered paper ashes around the chair.
Not just around the chair, but there were quite a few paper ashes on your brother's body.
I wonder if it could have come from the skylight? Like something
almost
burned
like
up there.
some kind of Rube Goldberg
Yeah.
device. Aye, I heard in the East you burn paper during ancestral worship ceremonies. Do you reckon this has any connection to your brother's passing?
Ancestral worship ceremonies.
He's like, am I being microaggressed? Indeed, Mrs. Cheng mentioned that August 15th, according to your calendar, is a special holiday.
What day was he killed? Actually, is that
Yeah,
in
we don't know the dates. You didn't tell us these
Oh
dates.
gosh, what happened?
Oh, he's getting
Okay.
possessed.
It's the Ghost Festival. And also the anniversary. Oh, no. Well, it's the anniversary of his father's death, okay.
Of his father's death. Oh my god, so many of these. This
Are we
family
gonna
is
investigate that
dying.
too? Was that also a mysterious murder?
Is it just a sequence of familial murders on August 15th?
Somebody's got a grudge against his family.
So you're suggesting that on that day your brother was performing ancestral worship for your father?
That's entirely possible.
Like, I think it's a contraption.
Yeah, no, for sure. But maybe it's both.
But yeah, Shen's also getting like
Okay, no, he says no.
possessed / developing a trauma-induced additional persona.
Yeah.
One of the
It's
two.
not possible. Our relationship with our father was not good. And we have never done such a thing before.
Is their father Jim Moriarty? Is that how it is? Are they from a
where else is
crime
that?
family?
Is this the same? Yeah, his body in the chair achieved a delicate balance. We've already seen that.
That drawing. Come on, man. Okay, did you get the blood stain on the chair?
I don't remember which other bloodstain I looked at. Drops of blood on the floor, as well as on the edges of the chair, which have already coagulated. There's another... At least in that image, there's something else on the chair leg, but it's not in the other thing, so I think it's just an artistic thing.
The claw mark. So
There were
sweet.
no bloodstains in the room except near the chair. Officer, how are the bloodstains distributed on my brother's clothes at the time?
There were a wee bit of bloodstains on the clothing near the dagger, but aside from that, there was no clear flow direction. Not to the left, right, up, not down.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Kinda
so
weird.
the thing that implies to me is that he was paralyzed upright and then the knife got plunged into his chest, which does make it difficult to be suicide.
Yeah.
I was at one point going to suggest that the only your brother's fingerprints were on the knife thing was because he was trying to get the knife out. But I don't know if that tracks
probably
because
I think he would have been at the very least paralyzed already.
Yeah, there would have been
dead.
blood spill. But I do think in that case it would have to be a dagger that was his beforehand. One that you could be like, or that he'd touched beforehand.
Alright, what else am I missing? I don't know if I can, like, click on the outline anywhere. I don't know if that's helpful. We've already done
Let's
this.
See. There's a bit of the back of the chair that looks a little bit different. Maybe that? No, up. It's like one of the... Oh, okay.
No, that's the same.
Nope. The delicate
this
balance. Part? Yeah, that part. It's like there's a bit of a fuzziness.
Oh, it's actually not letting me
on
click on it. So I guess there's nothing.
Alright. Then it's definitely not that. Let's see. Maybe something near the legs of the body?
I don't think so. Oh, I guess. Ryan, what exactly happened? No. I won't let you die like this without knowing the truth. We'll definitely find the murderer and bring them to justice. Oh, I guess that was it.
Yeah, it's just the feet.
Alright, skylight. A beam of light shines through the skylight, directly onto the chair where the murder occurred.
I'm sure that's
Is it open?
Unrelated.
What is this? It looks closed. The skylight window frame shows scorch marks. The marks appear to be fresh. That definitely confirms it. There's some kind of burning contraption up there.
Burning contraption. Oh, indeed, there are scorch marks. Even though it's unclear what caused them. This is unrelated to the case.
Really, no.
I'm sure I would stake my entire detectivehood on it.
How can you tell?
The skylight is very high, and without a ladder, there's no way
you don't
one
need
can
to reach it from the floor.
Mrs. Cheng's house doesn't have that. But, like, one, you could get to it from the roof. It's a skylight. It has two sides. Besides, we've inspected the skylight, and it's locked from the inside of the house.
That would make it tricky. Did they have some way to, like, do a trick from outside to lock it?
Yeah,
they could.
I think it's still contraption based, and actually making it lock with a time-delayed contraption would be really easy to pull off. Like if you had some kind of here's a rope holding it open, you know?
Yeah.
And then you set like a fuse, and then when it burns all the way, it snaps shut or something.
Well, it can snap shut, but like turning the latch would be a little bit trickier. I'm sure it could be done.
I mean turning.
I
mean turning the latch. Like, what if you just had it set up so that the latch was held in the open position, but when the thing burned through, it snapped into the shut position? You know?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some way to arrange that. Yeah.
I think that would be relatively easy with a contraption. Speaking of, guess who we know who's really good at contraptions? And that's right. It was the Foo the whole time.
Clearly. That's why he's not here with us investigating
more about
things.
This murder.
It's like, I definitely wasn't there at the time.
It would be hilarious if it was. Hilarious if it was him. I mean, maybe Afu's dad is Joseph Iscariot Bell. He's like, yeah, I didn't mention that. That's my dad, also a contraptions guy.
Makes
Thick dust on the
sense.
glass. No. Thick dust on the glass. No signs of being touched or tampered with. That one would be harder to do contraption-wise, but... So it's highly probable those scorch marks were made before the incident. But, like, how? You just said that Brian couldn't have done it because there wasn't a ladder.
Okay, the lock showing signs of rust hasn't been opened for years?
That skylight hasn't been opened for 15 years.
Hasn't been opened for years. Huh. I don't know. How accurate is that assessment? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's harder to contraption, but not impossible. This is your brother's studio, and the marks on the window are likely caused by experiments.
Except then there'd be like marks all over the walls. Not like specifically at the skylight.
Yeah, I assume that experiments are just like that sometimes.
Yeah. Something just explodes specifically at the skylight.
Explodes. Specifically at skylights, yes.
Yes. Oh, there's like a photo. I wonder if... Would I be in that photo, or is that just
vials on the ground?
Those look like candles.
Oh, those are the candles.
Yeah, there's some kind of... I think someone set it up at least to look like a ritual of some kind.
Candle-based
contraption.
contraption.
That's... Yeah. Ooh, what happened here? Several books on the desk, including Principles of Chemistry and the Interpretation of Dreams.
So they've been moved out of order.
Right, yeah, they've been moved.
They were in a different order for the splatter.
And
there's a reason they moved them out of order.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah.
It seems like these are books that Brian often read. Each book's spine has some ink stains.
Yeah, we learned the importance of blood stains in our first case.
But why would ink have been spilled like that to begin with?
Yeah,
it's also part of some
legitimate
kind of
question.
How'd that happen? The arrangement seems to have a certain pattern. Officer Jones, may I organize these books? Am I gonna have to do it?
The police investigation is done, and they're not your property.
I'm guessing it would be they're now your property?
There we go. They're now your property. Yeah. Next of kin. That makes more sense. I was like, that's not what the...
Okay, let's see.
So...
I feel like this one would probably...
Yeah, I think that one's got to be first, because it's got the...
No, not that.
Well, I don't know if it's 100% contiguous, because I don't think that
These two clearly match.
Yeah.
I think this one matches with that. These two match with each other, and I think these match with this.
So you gotta just move them over.
But why is the order important?
Yeah, I mean, if I were Shen, I would have taken a look at what the new order was before I moved them back. Just because it's harder to remember, but we can, like, look at the titles and see.
Indeed. The ink stains on the books spread diagonally. These ink stains indeed appear to be flicked from a fountain pen. Why is this
I don't know if this is a deliberate Ace Attorney reference.
I wonder if the reason... Yeah, I was gonna say a book is missing.
Yeah.
Or well, something was in between.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. The thing that I want to say, because I don't think it's relevant to the case, but I'm not sure if this is a deliberate Ace Attorney reference, but both of these bookends are the thinker.
Yeah.
Like, to the thinkers that were kind of important to some Ace Attorney cases.
Yep.
That would be a
funny
really
if it was a reference.
Clever reference if intentional.
Yep. And I wonder if that one book in the middle just has a spine like that, or if it's backwards. Because it kind of looks like pages. Yeah. But it also has, like, the horizontal something along the lines, so maybe that is just the spine. Or maybe it's, like, it's the back end of the book, but it doesn't have, like, a spine.
Oh, yeah, because some of the books that we were looking at back in China were like that.
Yeah. Also, if it's just, like, you know, a really battered book, maybe the spine just, like, came off.
Yeah. So a book is missing.
Clearly, another book in the middle has been taken. So then they would have been rearranged just to hide the fact that something was taken.
Just to obscure it a little bit.
Could you please tell me if the police took a book with ink stains on its spine from the scene?
Nah.
Could it be that the killer took the book?
Seems difficult to confirm if the book was missing then or if it'd been gone for a while. Mr. Shen, you need to trust the police. Don't assume there's a killer on your own.
Okay, what's with the candles? 7 candles are arranged on the ground in the shape of the Big Dipper. Oh.
Interesting.
I think it's not quite, though. There's like one slightly out of place, maybe.
Yeah, which might be like the book.
Each candle is securely fixed to the floor with wax by someone. Like the wax that was on the asbestos mesh thing.
The asbestos mesh thing.
I wonder if there was like a candle attached to that at some point? Also, I see that some of the candles have lines on them.
Yes.
I wonder if like something had been tied to them?
Yeah, like if you had a contraption, that could be a good place to like move a string on the contraption. I think also if you had candles you could be assured your target would light, then you could have a fuse built into the candle. Like,
why would he light the candles though? I don't.
Well, this is as yet wild speculation, but I'm imagining like a competitive riddling relationship where like, tee-hee, I broke into your house and made a cool puzzle based on the Big Dipper. I bet you can't solve it, winky face.
Wow.
It is England, remember. Everybody has to do things with puzzles. Officer Jones, it looks like some kind of mysterious Eastern ritual.
Of
Come on,
course.
Officer Jones.
The Big Dipper.
That mysterious Eastern Big Dipper.
你还能找到北斗七星吗？
Okay, so Brian is way older than him.
就在那里。
Oh, he's really cute.
看去，
就能找到北极星。
北极星
So where's the
是
North
天空中
Star?
唯一不动的星。
Yeah, that's a good
它会一直待
point.
在北天气。
Is that
What
where
is
the
it
missing
pointing to?
candle
出远门
was?
的人会用它来指引方向。无论离家多远，只要找到北极星，就能找到回家的方向。
Very relevant for people who have been traveling so far from home. Oh.
Yeah.
Since the candles are arranged in the shape of the Big Dipper,
Exactly
position
where
of
he died.
Polaris is towards the desk?
Okay.
Near the desk. Oh, it's that contraption there? Is there anything special about the desk?
A contraption.
There's also a wheel, which I guess could be like metaphorically relevant, but I think on that image it was pointing towards that boxy thing, whatever the heck that is.
Yeah. I didn't find anything special on the desk either. If I had to say, there are some marks on the candles instead. Yes, we noticed that, Officer Jones.
Tell me quickly. Yeah.
You see the side of this candle? There's a shallow scratch.
Some kind of wires tied to it.
Wires. The one next to it also has one. Interestingly, these two scratches are on the same horizontal plane. I like how he's like, Mr. Shen, this isn't a murder, there's nothing special about it, but also, have you noticed these two divots on the candles that are aligned on the same horizontal plane?
I wonder if that means it was just like one wire stretched around both of them.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, contraption, tripwire. If, like, you could be sure he was
putting
gonna
it on
step
candles
on it
seems really risky. Like, there'd be a chance that it would cut through.
Weird. Yes.
Like,
so
but again, this is very
is
precise. It must have been like the murderer knew exactly how much pressure needed to be exerted on this wire.
This is a person who's like, if I arrange candles in the shape of the Big Dipper, this guy will go to this desk right here.
But then where would the ends of this wire have been tied to? Interesting. Yeah. Indeed, they are quite suspicious. Could they be traces left by the murderer?
The possibility of this being a case of homicide is very, very low. Currently, no evidence links the candles to the murder case, which is why you paid so close attention to them. So we can't investigate. Well, yeah, the class photo might be the thing on the table.
Oh, these are the suspects. Is this a photo of my brother and his friends?
So, the guy on the left would kind of be that mysterious shadow self.
Yeah.
With like a little bit of a makeover.
Similar.
They're all your brother's classmates. I heard Joseph took the photo. The one in the middle is Stone Wu. He knew your brother from before he'd come to the UK.
Seems I have met him when I was a child.
The one on the right is Toby Chang. He's your brother's classmate at the University of London.
Not noticing anything relevant in the photo itself, but I'm sure we'll take a closer look at it later.
Yeah, it's also maybe the thing that was him being directed to it, like maybe inside it was the little note that was like, read me and then I'll burn up or something.
Yeah, maybe. There's a small stool placed between the desk and the candle arrangement. Yeah, what's up with that?
So,
the stool is very small, with a height of less than 20 centimeters.
So, thing that if there's a wire around the candles,
yeah, it could have been
and you put a
attached
stool
to the stool
between the candles and the desk, you could be assured that he would like bump into it or move it out of the way as he walked to the desk. So that could be a thing for a trigger, a tripwire.
The windows can only be opened from the inside.
Yeah, so are we gonna pay any attention to the necklace-looking thing?
Yeah, it looks more like a chalk outline of some kind, but yeah, it could be some kind of string. Below is the busy
Like, I'm not
Plymouth
sure why
Street.
they would draw a chalk outline of
Yeah, I don't know.
whatever this is.
But like the texture looks like chalk, I don't know. With fashion stores, jewelry shops, and furniture stores. Not far away are the iconic Palace of Westminster and the Royal Opera House. Through the window, the three-storied Savoy restaurant across seems to be very busy.
I'm sure it has nothing to do with the case. We can't look at that thing. Cylinder
Circular outline,
phonograph.
yeah, it's there.
Okay, good,
Okay,
yes.
Let's keep...
Whew, I was gonna say, like, you can't just leave that.
Okay, phonograph. Oh, it's in 3D.
Yeah, hey, you know what's great for contraptions? Cylindrical machines like a phonograph.
Yeah.
When we entered the scene, the phonograph
Ooh.
was still playing, but it stopped after a short while, which means you can pin down time of death by how long the phonograph had.
Yeah. But also something could have been attached to it.
Attached to it, contraption.
Did it stop because the wax cylinder ran out?
Hey, another thing made
More
of wax.
Yeah.
It's been about 15 minutes of playing. I personally verified this matter. There's a cafe downstairs in this building, just one floor below.
That's also potentially going to be relevant.
Yep. Staff reported continuous opera music from this room, 1:40 to 2:30 p.m. that day.
Did they hear any other sounds?
No. The seven-star lamp.
Well, 7 stars is also
like
relevant.
the Big Dipper.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mr. Shen, interested in listening to photograph content?
This is Peking opera. Content sounds somewhat familiar. The photograph is playing Peking opera 7-star lamp. So yeah, this was also part of the their trap.
Yeah, this was fully death by puzzle.
Yeah.
He says, "Look, here's the Big Dipper." So he's like, there must be a clue inside the wax cylinder for 7-star lamp. He just sets it up for him. 7-star lamp. What's it about?
It's about Zhuge Liang, who failed to borrow 10 years of lifespan from heaven 1790 years ago. Haven't heard that one.
So
failed
that's
to borrow
how it is.
10 years of lifespan. That's
He was
new.
gonna give it back. It was a loan.
46 minutes long. Tells the story of Kongming begging
46
for
minutes
longevity.
long.
Yeah.
That's not 50 continuous minutes. Something was done to the cylinder.
Well, I don't think their reporting had that level of accuracy.
I think it's supposed to have that level of accuracy.
A lab bench that is filled with bottles and containers. Oh, let's investigate. Ooh, is that... I wonder if that's blood.
Well, that sure looks like a string.
Dismantled kerosene lamp on the table.
Why is it dismantled?
Several long cotton threads soaked in the kerosene bottle. And kerosene, of course, could be used for lighting things on fire.
For lighting things.
A small brush inside. This is probably just part of that. Okay, we can't look at that. A stack of oil paper on the table. Each sheet is large and thin. Oh, can we do another rubbing? Because we had oil paper that had something written on it.
That had something written on it, yeah.
Alright, what's all this? Various chemicals and reagents placed on the lab bench. Among them, there are aspirin, propane, and trichloromethane. That is. Test tubes contain powdered herbal medicines such as Sephora flavescens and Angelica sinensis. Uh-oh. This bottle contains strychnine. Officer Jones, do you know if
weird
there's a strychnine in my brother's room?
Oh, don't worry.
What is that?
We had certainly looked into this angle.
That's Scottish slang.
So the thing is, I don't know how accurate the Scots is in his dialogue.
Yeah, I don't know.
I couldn't tell you if it is used consistently or accurately or not. But that is probably, I'm guessing, don't worry. Or
Yeah,
don't
by
fuss,
context,
maybe?
presumably, yeah.
Yeah. Your brother's autopsy and toxicology tests were done by Joseph, a forensic expert who definitely didn't murder
really?
him.
Oh no. Oh, I don't like this.
Yeah, I was about to say it is odd given strychnine would explain all the symptoms, but it wasn't found in our brother's blood. I was like, I wonder who did the toxicology report. I wonder if it was Joseph.
Oh boy.
Joseph, whose middle name, by the way, I think you might have...
Rui, you missed that.
Comments. I'm not sure if you were here for this part, but Joseph, whose middle name, whose full name is Joseph Iscariot Bell. So we're like, that's a concerning name.
Yeah, Joseph, the victim's friend, and also his
also
his teacher or whatever it was. His
he was
like
like
research
his research
mentor.
Sponsor.
Yeah, sponsor.
And he
like
looks very, very trustworthy.
Iscariot, like Judas. Yes.
Yes, literally like Judas.
Yeah. Totally trustworthy.
Super trustworthy. Even though the signs on the body looked like strychnine poisoning, the test came out negative.
What about other toxins?
Of course, all of them came back negative.
Sure they did.
Our capabilities are limited, and some new drugs may not be detected.
What is the current police speculation about the cause of my brother's body contortion?
Just a moment, let me check my notebook. It has Joseph's theory. Well, let's find out what Joseph's theory... Because the thing that is interesting to me... is Joseph's definitely the killer. Covering up the toxicology report. It is a little confusing why he would hide strychnine poisoning if there is a ready explanation for why a suicide victim would have strychnine poisoning. Like, he has access to it.
Yeah, if he wanted to set it up as a suicide, especially if he already just had the poison in his room, he could have just been like, okay, he killed himself with the poison.
It's like, for what reason did you hide that? Yeah, like, you set this up so that he would be poisoned and then stabbed to death.
It's
like,
for the art of the puzzle, Luke.
Art of the puzzle, yeah. Like, he's the one who reported a homicide happened.
Yeah, that's also true.
So, like, did he hear from Brian that we were way smarter than him, and he's like, an intellect to spar with. I'll murder someone over it.
Yep.
Oh, found it. We found a recently healed wound on the victim's foot.
What?
If there's rust contamination on the wound, or if he was exposed to germs during experiments...
Was there? Can you check that?
So the thing I will say is we bring up rust contamination, and the skylight is very rusty.
Yeah, we did bring up rust there.
Then there's the possibility of a tetanus infection. If he got a fright or felt intense pain, it might have caused back spasms. Or if there's stimulation causing back nerve paralysis, it could lead to body contortions. In summary, Joseph thinks there are many possible causes for the body contortion. As for the toxicology test results, they were all negative. Which is weird. So, like, we're bringing up rust. I don't think this was, he just had a normal back spasm that did that.
Yeah, something happened. Alright, what's our mysterious outline? What was originally inside this white circle?
A roll of Morse code paper strip, which we took as evidence.
Morse code paper strip. So you found it on the ground.
Aye, that's right. I suspect it fell from the Morse code telegraph machine.
Oh, is that the thing on the shelf there? Does it have any content on it?
No, it's in all some kind of weird code. It's the telegrams for Mr. Bell, Joseph's father, Alexander Graham Bell. Wouldn't it be wild if that was, though?
Does the time period match up? I don't even know when. I think it might.
Yeah, I don't remember what year this is set in, let alone how that relates to historical. We've checked the contents discussing the development of a certain drug. Nothing suspicious.
Okay,
Was the
what
drug
drug?
strychnine-based at all? So, okay, so Mr. Bell, do we have a, like, who's who of the case at the moment?
Yes. Or not. Yeah. We have something somewhere. Oh yeah, characters.
Characters. Because I just want to confirm.
I like that. That's me. It's cute.
That's me. Hey, that's me.
Studying pharmacology.
So he doesn't look exactly Sinister Shadow Self.
Yeah, he looks a little different.
Because I'm like, okay, I just want to check because I think that the Mr. Bell that sponsored his research might be Joseph Bell's father.
Yes, that's what was
said. So
said.
who's the blonde guy?
That's Joseph Bell, yeah.
Former detective sergeant, longtime friend.
Oh, and this
guy?
one is this is the father.
Watson Reuben Bell.
Oh,
the son of
he
Alexander
was the funder.
Graham Bell.
Okay.
We'll make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
he was the one who reported.
Yeah.
Detective sergeant.
I guess it could have been Watson also. What's his middle name? What's Watson's middle name?
Reuben.
Watson Reuben. That's a less suspicious middle name, but
Isn't
it still
that
could be him.
the thinker guy? Or am I...
Reuben?
No, I think it was spelled differently.
Like the person who made the statue, the thinker?
Yeah.
Let me look this up. Because if
I think it was
so,
something similar
I'm like,
to that.
The thinker is almost certainly August Rodin.
Yeah.
So not like Reuben. If they did have the same middle name, I'd be like, was that part of the riddle? Go to the desk where these bookends with the statue, the thinker, are just like me. So.
Okay, so Iscariot here isn't the research guy. He's just a friend.
Isn't the research guy?
Research guy is his father. Okay.
I
I thought there was just one Bell, but no.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, I was like, hang on, these aren't the same people.
Yeah.
They're both suspicious though, and they could have done it together.
Yeah, I think the son probably did it, and the father like helped him cover it up or something.
Or the father's the one who's like, I'm Professor Moriarty. I'm the professor guy. I slot into this Holmesian role. And Joseph's just the, I need you to cover up a few things for me guy.
Also, I wanted to check on our new knowledge. Okay, fingerprints.
Yeah, we got so much new knowledge. Fingerprints.
Damn! I didn't know it was that old.
Yep.
Cool.
Twitching of facial and neck muscles. The individual's face may show a bitter smile.
Yeah. So this all seems to match, although maybe
it was hang on. Strychnine, really quick. I do want to see. Death usually occurs within 1 to 3
hours. Yes.
Hours. So that's a thing that occurs to me is potentially a motive for why he was poisoned and then stabbed. Because if the intention was, we need a very specific alibi, we need this to happen at a specific point in time, then strychnine would be bad for that, unreliable, You can't set up a locked room mystery with that, so you need a clearer cause of death. And also, like, maybe you kind of don't want this guy to suffer for 1 to 3 hours. You want to put him out of his misery. Maybe there's a little bit of, like, cruel mercy in there. Treatise on forensic medicine. So, was one of the books on the bookshelf a treatise on something?
We can check. Alright, then what did we get here? Scotland Yard. Hungry Ghost Festival.
Forgives the sins of the dead on this day. So there might be some kind of father forgiveness tied into this.
Perhaps.
So yeah, the wax cylinder is part of the contraption, for sure. I'm also like, okay, so my understanding of how wax cylinders work is, you know, it's like a record. You've got a needle that's rolling over bumps. So something that occurs to me is that the Morse code telegram was like on the floor.
Yeah, because I was thinking that could be some kind of like music box or something, but
yeah, it's like you use it to modify what the phonograph is playing. So used 7 lamps to prolong his life. However, the ritual was interrupted with a premonition of his future.
This is definitely set up to mimic that.
Yeah. Although I'll note, the premonition of his future doesn't make a lot of sense. If he died immediately after, he didn't really have a future there. Kind of a short premonition.
Yep.
Controlling the opening and closing of an electromagnet.
Interesting. Okay, what's in the cabinet? On the top shelf. Yeah?
I'm gonna say also, if the telegraph, I doubt it records when messages are sent. Like, that seems like just something that you do when the technology has been there for a long time, not, now. So the thing is, you could probably send a telegraph at any time, and, like, people checking on the scene after wouldn't have any way of knowing. Like, my point is, if the telegraph was sent immediately before the murder, it could have been part of the activation of the contraption. You make the machine start moving to do something for the contraption.
Yeah, maybe.
Which means that you can time it very precisely. And in fact,
I don't really know how the machine works.
Contraption stuff. So it might not be exactly there's definitely a Rube Goldberg element to it. But figuring out how do we do it this precisely? You set up the Big Dipper, right? Because if you do that, this will lead to a series of dominoes where your target will start playing.
We see the... Adjusted medication proven effective in small trials. Congratulations. Not your fault. No need to blame yourself. What's the... Okay, so these are the dates, I think. 8/5, 8/10.
Okay, so these do have some dates.
A drug
But
development
like they specifically
challenging
called
path.
out the telegraph is doing something, like it says post
Keep
office
going.
telegraphs,
I
but it
believe
seems to
success
be
awaits.
printed out by this.
Optimism
so
needed.
that one,
Assistance
does that one
offered
say
anytime.
8/13?
Stay positive.
Oh,
Yeah,
optimistic.
8/13.
Stay positive. What's the don't blame
Understand
yourself?
concerns. Office meeting tomorrow, 9 a.m. So it was 8/14.
8/14,
So they-
which would be the...
Yeah, they would have had a meeting arranged for 9 a.m. on the 15th. So yeah,
Okay.
the not your fault was from 8/10.
Okay.
Oof.
So,
What happened? This is
clearly
very
this-
concerning.
This is stuff happening for motive.
Yeah.
Motive is happening. Okay, but hear me out. It seems like the machine that he has on the bookshelf can send him telegraphs directly, right?
Yeah, like,
Because that's where the
how does
reel
that
is
work?
coming from. It's a big reel of messages.
Hmm.
If you had a contraption that was hooked up to the telegraph machine, you could send a telegraph and it would start spitting out paper that could be of a length that it would trip something, it would cause the activation of the machine.
Potentially.
Then
This reel wasn't in the machine, though. It was found on the ground.
It was found on the ground, yes, but like if it was in some way rigged and the contraption activating it caused it to be shaken and to fall, then you could have something that you could control very precisely when it starts up. And the reason I'm saying when it starts up is important is because we know that he started playing the Seven Lamps music at 1:40.
Yeah.
And if you had things set up so that he would be in a specific spot at a specific time based on these clues you've left, the playing of that music could be the way that you know he's starting to get in position. So you know when to send the telegraph. You know when to activate the trap because you can hear him, right? That's my thought so far. I find it interesting because, like, okay, a thing that is interesting is that we're learning all of this background detail, right? But the confined room mystery presumably had a solution for this.
Yeah.
Like, the detective novel probably ended with it being solved. So, like, did the confined room mystery get it right or not? I find it
Presumably
interesting
not, because otherwise we wouldn't get the opportunity to solve it ourselves, but it would be interesting to see what they came up with.
Yeah, I find it interesting that we have not been told what that book was about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It definitely gives us motive. There's something going wrong with the study they're doing. And Brian wanted to
So
go
also has
public.
details. This is just normal. And that's received at 2:05 p.m. I wonder if that could also have been rigged to be sent at a specific time.
Yeah, and I'll also say because like the paper reel isn't literally those pieces of paper.
Yeah.
You know, those are just the translations of the Morse code.
Mm-hmm.
So I find the fact that there is not a telegram that was sent on the 15th to be a question mark thing, but if Joseph is coming in here and cleaning up the evidence, they took the paper reel, so all that he'd have to do is just tear off the most recent one.
Yeah, I don't know. On the top shelf, there are certificates and medals that my brother has received. In the middle, there are some pharmaceutical theory books and laboratory equipment. On the bottom shelf, there are several wax cylinder records, including Autumn in the Han Palace. Is that all we have there? I think that... Oh, telegraph machine.
Well, there you go. That's definitely part of a contraption.
Mm-hmm.
Being used on that day. But there's no telegraph. There's no telegram from that day. Oh, right. I didn't read that out loud. Sorry. The Morse code paper reel we found should be fitted in the hexagonal area on its tap. Other than that, no other abnormalities were found on the machine. So the message, yes, was detached from it.
Oh, that's what the spinny thing there was.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So the thing is, one,
So yeah,
that's on the table.
Yeah.
Right where the thing was pointing to.
Mm-hmm.
Go look at the telegraph machine. Second, contraption. If you had like, there was a Detective Conan that had something like that where calling the answering machine caused it to wind up, and that caused the string to be pulled taut, which did a contraption.
Yep. That could definitely be a thing. Well, let's go check the rest of the house, I guess.
Yep.
Oh, I guess that was upstairs. We've got a cabinet, we have a bedroom. We have this stuff. Alright, let's talk to the lady, I guess. Auntie Cheng, may I... Alright, should I be Mrs. Cheng then?
We could either switch off, or since it's just Shen here, I could just be the non-Shen characters. It's up to you.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't just talk to myself all case, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to know about my personal matters, about your brother's
sorry.
matters, or about the case? You'd like to ask how long I've been in London?
Exactly.
I'm from Tuchio Canton, and I've been here for 13 years. The fog in London, toxic. You can see nothing, smell unpleasantly. Lungs corrupted for living here. No one cares about this terrible environment.
Auntie Cheng, the staircase is indeed...
My lungs are still alright. The medicine inside is nothing special. They're all tonic herbs, astragalus, ginseng, and goji berries. Do you want to know about my personal matters, about your brother's matters, or about the case?
Auntie Cheng, may I ask...
Your brother is polite and knowledgeable, and our 5 elements are a good match. According to the sexagenary cycle, I was born on a Genying day and your brother on a Jihai day. This all will be relevant in the final case. Genyin belongs to metal, while Jihai belongs to earth, and earth generates metal. The yin and yang are balanced, mutually generating and thriving. If he rents this house from me, both he and I should benefit.
Except when a murder happens.
Alas, his year predicts misfortune and a short life. I mean...
You think?
We do know that. Don't move. Your eyes are bright and lively. Your facial features are well proportioned. Sign of long life.
I hope so.
Listen to my advice. Don't hold on to gains and losses. Only trap you in inner demons.
Auntie Cheng, may I ask... She is not interested in listening to me.
What happened that day? That day I was sitting at the entrance. Brian came back at noon and greeted me. Also, I saw several people following him, like ghosts.
Okay,
Well,
there are
those
potentially
certainly
more
look like-
people involved in
Those
this.
look like Joseph and Watson, I think.
I don't think so. I think they had longer hair. Didn't they both
They
have,
had
like,
longer
ponytails?
hair. It's just... Okay, so it is hard to tell based on the sepia tone,
Yeah.
but one of them kind of looks like he's supposed to be blonde, and one of them looks like he's supposed to have paler hair, which would be them.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know. Could be.
After your brother came back, they stood opposite side of the street, staring here, listening for the phonograph.
Hmm.
Keep an eye on him.
Do you know that my brother...
It seems like he also noticed. His left facial muscle is twitching a bit. Expression looks peculiar, very rigid. Okay, so he was already... He was already poisoned.
At that time, it was approximately...
Around 1 o'clock.
That would match, yeah.
I watched him go upstairs and lock himself inside. He didn't come out again. Before the police arrived, I stayed at the entrance the whole time, and no one else went in.
Auntie Cheng, regarding this matter, what do you...
I told the police, but they didn't believe me. They even said it was my mistake. The public security here, bad. So, they were listening for the thing. I'm also... So, them breaking into the room, the report that this was a homicide. It's weird if they're trying to frame it as suicide.
Yeah.
But if they need to present a very specific time of death, then it makes sense as like saying, oh, I saw someone commit suicide. I don't know if the police would break into a house for that, but they would for homicide, you know?
Yeah. A wooden miscellaneous cabinet. Inside, there are various uncommonly used items piled up. There is a statue of Kuan Yu placed as an offering on the ancestral altar. In front of the statue is a censer with 3 burning incense sticks inside it. Medicine is being brewed on the stove. The hallway is filled with a strong herbal smell. But this smell is unfamiliar. It doesn't resemble common Chinese herbal medicine. That's a little weird. But I guess it's uncommon. She's just that good. She makes the special stuff. So would this be her place then?
I think it's meant to be his bedroom.
Yeah,
I think he had the workroom.
because he had like
and
an
bedroom.
office upstairs.
Yeah.
That was his like workshop. His lab. Yeah. These are Brian's coat and hat. I didn't find any suspicious clues. The bookcase in the bedroom is filled with detective novels. There are also The Murders in the Rue Morgue, The Woman in White, and The Moonstone. A whole collection of the Sherlock Holmes series.
Which is weird because
Return.
Sherlock Holmes was based on his brother.
A book gifted by Joseph. There's a dedication he left on the title page. Brian, welcome back to the... something... some kind of circle. Oh, the Conan Doyle Circle. Enjoy the return. Oh yeah, well, he's gonna say it
okay.
again. Brian, welcome back to the Conan Doyle Book Club. Enjoy the return, Joseph. I remember Brian's dream to become a detective. How did this end up happening then? Shen
He
ended
was
up
going to be
becoming
a
the
science
detective instead.
detective.
Yeah, he was going to be the Emma guy.
He was going to be the Emma Sky. That's why Afu killed him. Nobody takes my bits.
Oh. This photo. This is probably the only family photo. If it weren't for our father, the family wouldn't have fallen apart.
Okay. So I know there is also not a mother.
Yeah, what happened to the mother?
Just a series of murdered family members.
Yep. Now, even you have left.
Okay, hang on. Can we pull up, Can we pull up Brian's, profile again? I want to see how old he is at this point in time.
He was 25.
25, and how old are we? 19.
19.
Okay.
I feel like it looked like a
You
much
know-
bigger age difference than that.
Yeah! That looks like a very tall, already adult, and like a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Brian had a growth spurt. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know, could they have been like 10 and 16?
Yeah.
Maybe? It definitely doesn't look like that. Okay, in the drawer. This is... It's my brother's diary. Previous pages have been torn off. Only one page remains. Uh-oh.
I wonder if the previous pages of the diary had incriminating evidence about a drug trial.
This is a dead end. Everything is meaningless. Utterly meaningless. I mean, that could definitely be interpreted as a suicide note.
This whole game is full of things that really do sound like suicide notes, but like, what?
This is... That also looks like it would be the two of them. Aww. So sad.
爹爹，孔明灯真的能实现愿望吗？
当然可以。
Lord Shen.
孔明灯
Lord
是月
Shen.
亮，为了听到人
Is
间
their
心
family
意
important?
降下来。
I guess.
真的吗？月亮会听到我们的心愿？
会的。你把心愿写在灯上放飞，月亮就知道了。
那我要成为像徐霞客那样的旅行家。哥哥，你的愿望是什么呢？
我的愿望是成为一名侦探。
哥哥，什么是侦探呀？
侦探也像旅行家一样四处冒险。
They're like adventurers and lawyers and...
这么厉害！那我想当侦探旅行家。
好啊，我相信一定会实现的。
孔明灯飞着来了，爹爹，快拍照！
I wonder if that is gonna end up being relevant somehow.
Before his father.
This was taken before my father. This photo
Before his father
has
died.
been with my brother all along. Takes a while to compose
After
himself.
a while. They
I have already
given
checked
up
everything.
on time.
Wait, I didn't get a chance to check the bed, I don't think. Oops.
Please take me to the police station.
No, there
to
were
take a look
3
at the case
things, and I think
files.
you got them all.
No, there was also an
Right,
option to
we're off
inspect the
then.
bed.
At the station,
Hopefully
you'll
it
need to
wasn't
sign a few
important.
papers for me.
Yeah. Just get to miss the
Like a full
flavor
confession.
text.
That's right, we're framing you for this, too.
二位，我刚接到汉阳铁厂会办李毅的电报，想拜托你们帮个忙。
Well, I guess
A
that's the end of
telegram,
the
you say? Wait, how did you receive a telegram on a ship? Did they have that?
I have no idea. How do you do that?
Did they have remote
Very mysterious.
signaling at that time?
I don't
Is
know how it
Shipmaster Lowe
works.
just lying to us?
I think this might be a good place to stop, though. So we did just finish our flashback, and we are about 2 hours in.
That's fair. Yeah, it's...
But yeah, that was
You know,
interesting.
I'm cool to keep going if you want, but...
Well, I think we're just not going to find a better place to stop than this.
That's fair.
Like, we just got through our whole big flashback thing and everything.
We got through the flashback. Shipmaster
Yeah,
Lowe maybe
very
lying to us about a
interesting.
telegram.
Yeah, getting to know
Yeah.
more of the details of that. I imagine at this point we're going to switch over to the actual case 3, and then maybe in later cases we'll get more flashbacks to the rest of
we
this
need the help.
investigation.
Yeah, and I mean, though, so I guess if we've got Hangyang Ironwork, maybe this is just literally, there is a murder that happened, and I mentioned that there's a detective here, so we're gonna just solve a murder now.
Yeah, probably something
but
like that.
We're heading to the publishing company, which is almost certainly where we're going to learn more about
Yeah,
what
about the
did
case.
book
Yeah,
say
the confined room
the
mystery.
solution was.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, very
Exactly.
interesting. Definitely a lot to think about. It was definitely Joseph.
It was Joseph and or his father.
And/or his
both
father.
of them.
Pulling some kind of
Some
contraption
kind of drug
nonsense. And also using a
contraption.
poison that they totally lied about not finding. I almost feel like it's
Totally
too
lied about
obvious. Like it's some kind of red herring that they're trying to trick us.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like, okay, the testimony from Miss Chang suggests that he had strychnine in his system.
Yeah.
And I think that the potential reason, I guess maybe to cover it up now, is because that happened before he got back. He was already experiencing symptoms earlier. And I think that, you know, he was killed just as the symptoms were starting to kick up. To pin down a time of death in a way that suggests that the thing that definitively killed him was the dagger and nothing else. There was no poison. Don't investigate the people he was meeting with right before he got home.
Yeah.
So that would be the motivation to hide the strychnine. In particular, I guess, like, if they... I still feel like it's plausible
Although
that
the other
he
thing
might
is,
have
like,
it in his system if he... Yeah.
When would someone have set up all of these contraptions? Because here,
Yeah,
can I
that's the
check?
thing, because the contraption 100% implies premeditation. Like, they did
Check
not
Mrs.
do
Chang's
that all
testimony. Notice that someone was
remotely.
monitoring the house. Like, she would have seen if someone had gone in, right? She was, like, sitting outside.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on when they went in to set it up. Yes.
Yeah.
If
He would have
was
left
out
for
of
the meeting,
house-
like, he had the meeting at 9 a.m.
Ooh, yes,
and
right. We
he
gotta,
came
we
back
gotta know about
at
that.
about 1 p.m. So we don't know
1
how long
p.m.
she was sitting there. So
that
maybe
is
they
actually-
were in and out before she came out. Or before
that
she
is
got there.
actually interesting because we don't know how long the meeting was,
Yeah.
but maybe it lasted until right before he got back. Because he couldn't have been poisoned at 9, because the strychnine
Yeah,
would have
it's
taken
1 to 3 hours, yeah.
1 to 3 hours,
Hmm.
yeah. But, like, I do think that they're trying to confuse the possibility that maybe he was poisoned beforehand, because strychnine has such a wide window. But
Yeah.
that they had the contraption beforehand, and the contraption was clearly designed to work with him in the throes of strychnine poisoning. So this was
Also,
all a
this
very
says that
precise
she
plan.
informed Brian that someone was watching. I didn't remember
Yeah.
that from her testimony, but he would have
Yeah.
known that someone had been... I thought she said he greeted her at noon?
Yeah, around noonish. So, like,
I remember something where we asked her
think-
what the time was and she said 1 p.m.
Yeah, it's like, I think that the people we saw were the Bells.
Yeah.
And maybe the reason they don't have longer hair, because Joseph
can
in his
look at the-
profile, like his hair was
Yeah, see,
tossed
they have-
artfully over his shoulder.
Yeah, they
So it
both
might
have the
not
long
show from
ponytails.
They do, but like
I
one
think
of
they,
them is a shoulder
in that,
ponytail.
in that image, they very clearly looked like they had short hair.
They
So
did,
I don't know.
but
I don't know.
it
Maybe it's
kinda looked
just
shaggy. I'm not ruling it out.
not super detailed.
I'm not ruling it
sprites,
out. My
but-
point is, I think that he could have guessed that
Wait,
they were coming after
yeah.
him, just not put together that they were murdering him yet. Though I will say that this is still a death by puzzle somehow.
Yeah.
But I think if he is actively arguing with them about something, about releasing some information, and then hears that they are following him, I don't think his response when he comes in and sees a puzzle set up in his room is, cool, a puzzle, let me solve it.
Yeah.
I think he maybe catches on that there's something up there. So I'm not sure why he plays along, given how very puzzle-based this seems to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
very
maybe
mysterious.
it's even just that... Maybe he's not even playing along with the puzzle, he's just reminded of the... Because if the telegram, like, we don't... Yeah, I guess with the 3D models, I feel like both the telegraph and the phonograph have to be part of the contraption.
Yeah.
So they are depending on him to activate the phonograph, and then they can do the telegraph. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's up with that, and I'm not sure why he plays along.
Yeah, that we'll have to find out about.
We'll have to find out.
Alright, well, thank you for coming by. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. It's definitely an interesting little case there that I guess we're gonna leave off here and start the real new case.
The real new case.
So, I guess we're back to waiting for another murder. Alright,
So inconvenient.
yeah, so next stream will be next Tuesday, 7 p.m. EST. So I guess I'll see you guys there. Alright, have a good rest of your day. Bye.